Joni, what are the special requirements that in order to be a foster home?
Well, there really aren't any special requirements, Cheryl. It's really a matter of, first of all, we want people to understand that they want to make a commitment to this. You know, that's important, that they want to do that for some length of time and fill out an application. But the most important thing probably is really just to have a safe room, a place to isolate the animal so that, you know, it doesn't mix in with the other, you know, a lot of people have current animals, and so you want to make sure that they're not mixing in with the current animals. That's important. We're going to give them some instructions. We're actually going to do some classroom style for foster homes, because we want to give them all the information that they need in case, you know, let's say they have somebody that's sick. You know, it's 12 o'clock at night. What do you do?
Right.
You know, who
So
do you call?
they'll have some training.
Sure, absolutely.
Have some training for
sure.
those people.
They'll have some training, and it isn't difficult work. It usually it's not often that people have issues or problems, but you know, it does happen.
And to have some guidelines.
Oh, sure. There's got to be some guidelines, and again, it's one of those things where we want them to house and socialize and you know, be invested.
Do you have any idea what's the normal time frame?
You know, there isn't really a normal time frame. It's dependent on the animal themselves. I mean, we'll get 5-week-old kittens that come in, Cheryl, and the truth of the matter is, you know that, we don't want to place them till they're 8 weeks.
Right.
So that would be a 3-week commitment. But we're also in that time, we're hoping in the interim while people are fostering those animals that they're actually telling their friends about their kitties at home, and they're telling their neighbors, and they're letting people come over.
Again, helping us advertise those animals.
And it's that show and tell type of situation. So again, you know, it isn't necessary that everybody comes into the building here to have to adopt.
Right.
You know, we're hoping to, you said it yourself, we're hoping to expand our shelter.
So the foster families would be able to give out our application for a kitten,
Sure.
but we would still process that application.
We would process the application, we would still do the adoption itself, but the new family, the new adopter, will actually pick that animal up from the foster home.
From the foster home. Okay.
Yep. So.
And do you have to live right here in the city of Oshkosh
Nope.
in order to be a foster home?
We have a lot of foster homes that are outside the city of Oshkosh, and so it's not necessary. I mean, you know as well as I do, we take animals in from outside the area, and we adopt out from outside the area. So why not have foster homes outside the area?
So if somebody is interested in fostering,
sure. Yeah,
just
come on down, fill out the application, talk to. We have a foster coordinator, and they can talk to them. And again, I'm hoping for 50 foster homes. I mean, in order to do this program, Cheryl, in order to save lives.
with the number of kittens that we have coming in, and the number of cats and kittens we have coming in, we need 50 foster homes to be available.
That's right. Everybody deserves a chance. You and I talk about this all the time. Just because you're 11 years old and you come into the shelter, does that mean that you shouldn't have an opportunity to get adopted? Of course you should have an opportunity to get adopted. There's somebody for everybody, and we have to trust that people are going to do the right thing.
Right, we really do. And hopefully they'll do the right thing and decide to become a foster home for us.
That's right. That's absolutely true.
But in addition to foster homes, you can't stay in foster care forever.
Nope.
We need adopters.
We need adopters.
And I think there was a survey, if I'm remembering correctly, done by a software company that primarily does software for shelters, and they did a survey as to people adopting from shelters.
Right. What the survey said is actually, what they asked is, like, how many of you would be willing to adopt an animal from a shelter or a rescue? 67% of the people said we would do it. We would be committed to adopting from a shelter or rescue. However, the truth of the matter is only 25% of all people that have animals adopt from shelters or rescues. When asked what the reason for that was, where's that big gap, you know, that's in between there? And the truth of the matter is that most people said that when I go to a shelter or I go to a rescue, first and foremost, they don't respond to me in a timely manner, and they make it so difficult to adopt. So we looked at those two issues and we said, you know what, we can do better. We know we can do better. So what we did is we streamlined our adoption process. You will hear from us within 24 hours. We won't necessarily adopt within 24 hours, but if you ask or you inquire about an animal, you're going to get some kind of answer within 24 hours. And if you come in here to adopt an animal, we're going to try to process that application as quickly as we possibly can.
So we still have an application, but we've really streamlined that. I know that we no longer ask for references.
That's right.
However, we do need to know whether you rent or own your own home.
Sure.
We'd like to know the history of any pets that you have and who your veterinarian is. and just some basic information about you.
Sure.
Well, and we want to make sure that, and we'd like the whole family to participate.
Well, sure. And the truth, we would like that, but we don't necessarily always make that. You know, we've really looked at this and said, we're going to trust that people are going to do the right thing. And that's the whole key there, is that, you know, we recognize that, you know, in the past, maybe we have made it somewhat difficult for people to adopt. Well, we just don't want to do that anymore, because there's a lot of people that come into our building that are, you know, you walk in the door and they're already a customer. And so part of our responsibility is making the right match. That's key, Cheryl, is making the right match. We're the experts. We need to do that. We need to talk to people. We need to engage with them. We need to find out what they really want. And if we can meet that need with the right animal, that animal is going to be in that home forever. Right. You know, it's going to live its whole life there. And that's the key to making that adoption work.
Is doing the matchmaking.
Is doing the matchmaking. That's absolutely true. So it's extremely important that when people are out there and they're thinking about getting a pet, please, please, please go to a shelter, because I can't tell you how important it is that you save a life, because you do save a life. Right. You know that as well as I do, because you make room for one more. Right. You know, and that's so key in this environment.
And we're not going to turn animals away.
We can't. We have to, you know, there's shelters out there and they call them no-kill shelters. And of course there's some confusion about what is a no-kill, and that's a definition.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is that we're never going to hold up our hands and say, I'm sorry, we're full, we can't take anymore. And that's
because we don't know what happens to that animal if we turn it away.
We have a commitment to all animals.
Right.
We have a commitment to any animal that comes to us. And so we feel very, very strongly about taking animals when people ask us to. But one of the things that we're also doing is we looked at that part of it, that admissions process. And when people call and they ask about surrendering a pet, and we ask people that they make an appointment, because obviously it's a lot easier to know what's coming. Right. But we're looking at that action and saying, is there something we can do right there on the phone that maybe we can help that person so that they don't have to bring that animal in?
I think that people forget that the Humane Society is a great resource center for behavioral information. We have a staff here that has years of animal knowledge. And when somebody's having a problem, whether it be a barking dog or a cat not using its litter box, we have those answers for them.
Sure.
And we can help them. But the key is they need to come to us or let us know that they're having that problem before they get to the point where I can't do this anymore, I need to turn my animal in.
A lot of times we're the last resort. By the time that people call us and say, I have to surrender my animal, people feel that they've done everything they possibly can to make the situation better. But unfortunately, what they feel they've done isn't necessarily maybe the key to what is going to work for them. And we have the key in some cases. We can't work with all situations, but you know as well as I do. You said it yourself, we're the experts. We do have a lot of experience, and we've got a lot of training background in our environment as well, that we can, your dog's not house trained? We can help you with that. Right. You know, your cat's not using the litter box? We can help you with that. So people don't always want to give up their pet, but they feel forced to have to do it.
And so our goal is to try to keep those animals in their home.
Sure. So why not catch them before they get to that point? And so what we do is we encourage people. So when we're on the phone with somebody and they want to surrender their pet, we're going to talk to them about, is it something we could help you with? Is it something that you're willing to work with? And absolutely. Chances are, if there's that one little 1/10 that they want to hang on to that animal, they're going to work with it. Yeah. And in most cases, we've been able to turn that around. And if we don't have the answers, oftentimes we can refer them to a specialist that does have the answer. Right. That's absolutely true. And go that route. So it's one of these things where this life-saving mission is really, it touches every aspect of the shelter. In all areas. It's in our admissions areas, it's in our adoption areas, it works with our volunteers, and again, the foster homes are key. Right. They truly are key to making this work. The community has to rally around us. They have to come forward. If people don't step up, if they don't become foster parents, this program won't work. We won't be saving lives. And so it's a call to action. So we're asking people, please, please, come into the shelter, call us, but come down, get that application, be a foster parent, help save lives. Great. I think
people hopefully will get the message from our show and know that we're serious. We're taking this life-saving mission very seriously. We don't want to end lives. That's not our business. No. We're in the business of saving lives, and we want to be a life-saving shelter within a life-saving community.
That's right.
So
absolutely.
We invite everybody to be a part of this exciting mission.
Yep, we're excited. I'm pumped.
Come and adopt. Come and be a foster home. Come and see all of our wonderful cats and kittens and dogs and puppies. And I think they'll be surprised about how easy it is to become a foster home and easy to adopt from us.
You bet.